Hello everyone, I am Loganathan from Loga QA Automation channel. Welcome back to the next video in our JavaScript Playwright series. In the last video, what we have covered is the locators that are available inbuilt in Playwright, using which we can identify the elements on the application. Right? So these are the different locators that are available: get by alt text, get by label, get by placeholder, so on and so forth. And also at the end, what I've shown you is how we can use either the XPath or CSS to find an element and then perform a click, right? So this is XPath and this is CSS. And then here again, I have used CSS to perform the click. So it uses the username and password, fills the username and password, and then finally it makes a click. And in today's session, what we do is we'll try to understand the different strategies we will use when we try to locate an element, that too in the real-time world, right? So these are the inbuilt one, and when the inbuilt one is not working, how are we going to identify them? So that is what we are going to see now. Let me create a new folder, not under this, under tests, different strategies. Okay, maybe I'll name it as locator strategies. Rename. Different locator strategies. Cool. So under which I'll add a new file and I'll name it as test01.spec.js. Nice. So let me import the test from Playwright package. Imported it. Now let me start the test and it will accept 2. Let me start with, so first let me cover all the different combinations we will use when it comes to identifying an element by text. So identify by text. Okay, for this I'm just thinking which website we can use. Let me see. So we have testing.qaautomationlabs.com, in which there is a radio button. I go there, testing.qaautomation. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so this is a very good website. So you can go here and practice different types of elements and then different types of actions, and all those you can perform. For today's session, I have taken this radio button demo page. Say I'm clicking on this male and then I'm clicking on this show selected gender. I want to do this, and to click on this show selected gender, I'm going to use the text as an identifier. And what are the different ways in which I can use the text is what we will see now. Okay, so first is page.wait, page.goto. Copy this, paste it, and then await, page.wait for timeout. I can use any other timeout, but I haven't covered them yet. That's why I go with this hard-coded timeout. So I'm waiting for 4 seconds, and then I'm going to identify this radio button. So how can I identify this radio button? So I want to click on this male radio button and then click on this show selected gender. So let me see, I'll inspect this, and it is a label. So name is male and then role is radio. Correct. Let me copy this, but the name has a space, but I'm going to give it a try without a space. Let's see how it goes. Wait, page dot get by role, and what is the role? Role is radio. I selected radio. Then I'm going to pass the next argument, which is nothing but the name. So I'll copy this Okay, the name, what I'm going to put is mail. Let's see, and then I'll make a click on it. Okay, first I'll ensure this works, and after which I'll add the script to click on the button. So it goes, it waits for 4 seconds, but it didn't identify it. Let's find out the reason why it is not identifying. Maybe there is a space. Let me select and run again. If it's not working, I'm going to read the error. Yeah, I get this. So this says it is giving us multiple options, right? So as by now we should understand, whenever it throws strict mode violation, it means more than one element matched the matched the locator that we are giving. That's okay. So if it is too many, what we'll do is, let's go with the first. Okay, even female has the character or the partial text male. That is the reason why it is matching. So instead what I do is, I'll go with the first option. So I remove the space first of all, and then instead of dot click, I'll put first dot click. Correct. Let me see how it goes. Waits for 4 seconds. Yeah, it made a click. So I don't know whether you noticed it or not, but it performed the click. So I'll put a wait so that next time when it runs, you should be able to view it. Okay. So next is, once it clicks on it, I want to click on this show selected gender. So first, we already covered this. Let's use the inbuilt locator method available in Playwright, which is nothing but getByText. So I click here. The text is show selected gender. That is the text, correct? So let me go here, await page dot get by text, and I'll pass this text, and I'll perform the click. Okay, let's see. I'll give one more time the wait. So here this wait is no more required. I'll add 4 second wait here. Done. So with this I'll execute it. It is on the page, waits for 4 seconds, clicked on mail, and then it clicked on show selected gender. That is the reason this red color information message is displayed. Awesome. So the first way to click on a particular button or any other field and you want to perform some action using the text, go with this getByText. What is the next option? Next option is we can use page.locator. Okay, so this time I'll click on female. Okay, instead of clicking on male, this time I want to click on female. So I change it to female, but I'm going to identify that show selected gender button by the locator dot locator, but I would be using another technique. So what is the technique? It is, I'm going to pass it as a argument, right? Text is equal to, and then this text I'm going to pass here. Okay, text is equal to, and then I'll perform the click. I'll take this off. This 4 second delay is no more required, and I add a 4 second delay. First it will click on male and then click on the show selected gender. Next time it will click on female and then it will click on the show selected gender. Let's run this. See, male is selected, clicked, you selected, male is displaying now. Next it selected female and it clicked on show selected gender, female is displaying now. With that it is getting passed. So now you know, either we can use getByText or I can directly say page.locator And then inside the locator I can pass the text like this: text is equal to show selected gender. This is one way of using text. What is the other way? So this time again I'll change it to male. So what I do is nothing a big difference. I'm going to say what type of element it is, and then I'm going to pass the text. But when I'm passing the text, I cannot use the equal. I'll use single, the brackets. Okay. So as you see, I'm saying what is the element. Okay, it is button, and then I'm passing. So button, how do we know? So I'll go here. So check this. And this is the button, right? Button tag. Inside the button tag, this is the text show selected gender. So that's why I use button tag, and then I'm using a colon. After using a colon, I'm saying it should have the text, and the text should be like this: show selected gender. Let's see what it does. So first male, okay, first male and then male, then it will click on female after 4 seconds. Yeah, show selected gender is female, and then again it will switch it back to male after 4 seconds. Yeah, it switched back. Okay, cool. So all three are done. There is one more variation for using the text. I'll show you that. That is using the filter option. So filter I'll again cover in another test file, but for now, just for your understanding, filter also giving you an option to perform, or option to select a element using text. So let me delete this. So last time it was male, let me change it to female. I remove this completely. So first I'm saying it is a button, and then I'm going to apply filter, because on this screen if you see, there is one more button, right? Show selected values. This is also a button. So there are two buttons on this page. So only by entering page.locator button.click, what will happen? It will throw an error, strict mode violation error, correct? So let me play this and show you. Okay, but it is going to wait. So what I'll do, I'll comment all. Let's see. And goes to this page, and immediately it throws the error. It says strict mode violation. Locator button resolves two elements. The first element is show selected gender. The next element is show selected values. So then how can I use filter to make the operation on the element that I wish to click, right? So let's see. It's a button, but let me use filter. So filter is again the wonderful feature which is given by Playwright. So when I use filter, as you see, it says has, okay, the first one has not text, okay, and then finally has text. So this allows either string or regular expression. So let us use has text and string. So let me start with has text. Filter has text and then colon, and I'll have to pass it. So guys, please see the syntax of it. It has to be given within the curly braces. And then I'll say dot click. Okay. So let's see how it is going to perform the click. I'm running it, goes there, it clicks female, and then it clicked on the show selected gender button, and it says you selected female. This time there is no confusion. This time, though this locator button is matching two elements, the filter that we have applied with has text is narrowing down to the particular button where we need to perform the click. Alright, so these are the options, text options we can use and perform the click. And here another advantage is when we use has text, we can use partial text, right? So say here show selected gender, and this one is So show selected I cannot use. Maybe I can use selected gender here, right? So let me remove this show, and then let me remove a couple of letters from gender too, just to show you how it is performing the partial select and then making the click. Okay, I'll save this and run this. Opens the browser, selects female, and immediately clicked, so it says you selected female. Okay, so whenever you want to use partial text and make some actions, use this hasText. Okay, or you can use one more option, which is nothing but using the XPath, right? In XPath also you can use text, and there you can use contain. So even I'll cover that here. Okay, let me comment until this point. I'll copy these. Okay, so I'm going to use the locator and the XPath combination. First I'll directly use the text, and then I'll use the partial text. Okay, for that we need to go here, show selected gender, copy this, Control F, how to create an XPath, use button, and then open a square bracket, and then it is a text is equal to, give the complete text and close it. So it is identifying, copy it and use it here. So there I have used single quotes, so I have to use double quotes. Within double quotes I'll pass this value. So let me save this and run this program. It's too fast. It selected female, it is waiting for, did it click? I didn't see it clicking the show selected values button. Not sure if you have noticed it. Let me see. One more time I'll run and see. Oh, sorry. Instead of gender, I'm passing the values. That is the reason. It is actually performing the click on the incorrect button. Let me run this. That's why the screen was scrolling too. Okay, now it is clicking female, and then it clicked on the button and it passed. Perfect. So here I have used the complete text, and if I want to use partial text, what I can do, copy this, and I can comment this, and after commenting here I'll use contains. But this is not anything related to what is it, the anything related to Playwright. Okay, this is completely related to XPaths. So if you know XPath, and if you know how to use contains keyword in your XPath, then you can easily achieve this. So basically this locator will allow XPath, and using in the XPath you are playing around with the text. Okay, let me see if this works. Before that I can verify this XPath is correct or not by pasting it in my browser. Yeah, this is correct. It is highlighting my object. So let me execute. Yeah, perfect. This worked. All right. So these are the different combinations for using text and performing the action. Okay, I'll save this. At the end of the video, I will push this code into my repository, and I'll share the repository link in the video description, so that you can go to the repository. It's a public repository, so you can go to the repository and take this simple script for your reference. So we covered this test 1. What is next? So already we know how to use XPath, and already we know how to use CSS to identify the elements. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll move to the next one. Say for example, if you are going to any web page and you want to capture all the links present in the web page, how can we do it, right? So that question will come. Or say you are in a web page and there are multiple links, and then you need to perform a click on the first link. How do you do it? You want to perform a link on the second link. You want to perform a click on the third link. How do you do it? Or last link. How do you do it? So for all those questions, how are we handling in the real-time scenario? That is what I'm going to show now. For that, let's go to Google first. Okay, let's go to Google, and then let's see how many links are present in the Google, and then we'll print all the links text content. So what I mean is, so let's go to Google, and here we see multiple links, right? When I say link, what it is, when I inspect an element, and if an element tag starts with A, it means it is link, correct? So now I'm going to calculate how many links are there on this page, right? Go there, create a new test, test0.spec.js, and here I copy paste it from okay, and I'm going to go to Google page, so copy this page and put it here. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to first identify the element. How can I identify the element? Await page dot locator. Let me use a simple one, locator, and I'll say the tag is A, so I'll simply give A here. And then let's see if I try to click on the locator A, what it is going to do. Okay, just for your understanding, I'm doing this. We don't write any script like this because obviously just by a tag we cannot identify an element. So let's run this. Yeah, it throws the error. Immediately it throws the error, and then it says strict mode violation resolved to 35 elements. It means on this page with the tag A, that is links, there are 35 links. Okay, and this is coming in error, but how can we handle it in our program? So that's what we are going to see now. Let's use a variable. Okay, what I'm going to do, let all links is equal to, instead of performing a click on it, let me get all. So this is a keyword available in Playwright. So I'm using the keyword called all, and now this returns an array. Okay, and then that gets stored here. So let me see what is the return value here. No, it is not allowing me to scroll. That's okay. It is not allowing, but if I play around with my screen resizing and all, I should be able to do it. Okay, so next what I'm going to do, I'm going to count, okay, how many links are there. How can I do? I can use again the count keyword. Okay, so now I have used all. Instead of using all, I can use one more keyword called count. So here I'll say all links count. This time I'm going to use dot count, right? Since it is array, I can use for each loop of JavaScript. So what I'm going to do, for let every link of all links, each link of all links. So let me copy this. So here I can first console, I can print the number of links I have in console.log all links count, and then I'm going to iterate it, and then I'll do a console.log again, and then I'll print this link, but I'm not going to print the link, I'll just take the text content of the link. So this text content is also from Playwright. Okay, let me run this. There is some error. That is the error. Not sure what is the error, but let's see. Button identify by text. Instead, I'll change it to identify all links. Let me run this. So quick. Let me see what it has done. So first of all, as you see, it is 35, right? The count it has printed as 35. And then for every link, it was trying to print the text content. And then this is how it is printing. ID pending promise. It shouldn't be the case. I'm still thinking why it is printing in this way. Yeah, so far all good. Maybe am I missing the await here? Let me see. Because text content is, yeah, this is also returning promise. I should use await. Anywhere I'm missing await? No. Let me run this again. Yeah, this time it is good. So this time it only picked the text and it is printing them on the screen. So see, there are so many links, and for every link it has a title, it has a text content, and for every it just prints the text content of all the links present in the Google page. Then what is the use of this count, right? Here I have used the for each loop. Instead of using for each loop, I can use the regular for loop. How can I do that? Set. Here use let I is equal to the traditional one, right? I is equal to 0. I is less than or I is less than count, link count, and then I plus plus. All good. Should I use semicolon? Yeah, correct. I should use semicolon. I shouldn't use comma. Apologies, guys, because I'm right now taking classes or doing videos on multiple languages. So here and there, I may make some mistakes on the syntax. So please bear with me. So now I'm using this I and console.log. This time I'll be using the array and then the index. This time I don't need this await. No, I need await. So I have to use this and then dot 0. Instead of 0, I'll put I. Okay. So I'm passing the individual elements of the array, and then I'm getting the text content and I'm printing it. So here, just for differentiating, console.log, I'll add a line so that we will understand when it prints on the console from where this kicks in. Okay, let me run this. Super fast. Okay, so it ends at email, the first for loop, where we have used this link of all links for each loop, and then next is the traditional increment loop. So there we have used the index and we printed it until where? Until this count. So two ways in which we can iterate through the links. So what else? Instead of using the iterator, what we can do is there is one more option. Okay. So now we have used text content. Instead, what I do, I'll take this and put it as all links text content, and instead of saying all, I'll say all text content, and then I'll print this. Okay, let me run this. As you see, first line is here. So with this email, the for each is completed, and after which it goes with the traditional loop, for loop, and then here it ends, and after which it is printing the all text content. But you can clearly see that it starts with a square bracket and ends with a square bracket, and all the elements are comma separated. From here you can understand this returns an array. All text contents returns an array, and that array is what is stored in this all links text content, and we have printed it here. Okay, so these are the multiple ways in which we can capture all the elements present in a web page and print here. Okay, with this I'll move on to the next one, where we are going to see how we can use and or operator in our identifier or locator strategy. Okay, so let's go there. Yeah, I'll take the previous example for this and go and use this, so that will be easy. So let me create a new test 03.spec.js. Okay, so on this page we already know this one is a button and has text, correct? So let me first, I'll say identify the element which is a button, await dot page dot locator, which is nothing but a button, and then I'm going to say, and I'll pass another locator, page dot locator, and I'll use this text. I can use this, or you have seen another example. When I use locator, I can directly pass the text. So I'll take it from here. Okay. Then I'll say click. So what I'm doing here on the line number 9, first I'm identifying a locator using a button, and then I'm adding a condition, and it should be a button and it should have the text show selected gender. Only then you should perform the click. So now here I'm using the and operator. So let me run this. I did not use the wait time, so it will be quick. So let me copy paste the wait also here. You see, so it came here, it clicked on female and it clicked on the button. So there is one more operator where we can use OR operator. So let me use that too. Or I'll comment this instead of writing one more. I'll comment this one. Instead of saying button, I'll say it should be a link. So I'll pass A. And then instead of and, I'll say or. I'll save this. So the first condition will get failed, right? Because there is no locator, or there is a link, but there will be too many links, but this one will resolve into one element, so it should kick in and it should click. Or just to confuse it, what I do on this page, whatever is not there, I'll pass it. So it will have everything. Maybe checkbox will not be there, so let me use checkbox. Okay, let me play this. Yeah, you see that it has already performed the operation. The reason is this locator is not there on the screen, so it is next looking for the OR, this locator. What would have happened if I say AND here? If I say AND, as you know, the logical operations, when I use AND, both should be true, only then the condition will be true. So this becomes a false when I use checkbox. So the moment the first one becomes false, then the entire statement will become false and this will not perform the operation. But when I use OR, any one should be true. So though this one fails, this will kick in and perform the click. So let's check, because last time we tried OR, and I'll try AND now and then run the program, run the test. As you see, it did not make a click on the show selected gender. It is waiting for the condition to become true, and it is not becoming true, so it is going to throw the error. So the default timeout is 30 seconds, so it will wait for 30 seconds and then it will throw the error. Alright, it throws the error. It says 30,000 millisecond it waited. Okay, so what is it saying? Locator.click test timeout. So the timeout is exceeded. So it is unable to find out an element with this condition where both of the conditions are true. There is no checkbox with the text show selected gender. So that's why it is failing. Okay. So this is clear how to use AND and OR operator in our locator strategy. So let me close all this. Now let us go to the first and last, how we can use first and then how we can use last, and all those things we will learn. So for that I'll add one more test, test 4. test4.spec.js, and for that the site I'll use is naukri.com. So let me open a new incognito window, naukri.com, and then in this let us click on this register, and you see multiple input boxes. So let me inspect this, and this input keyword, if I use here Control F, you can see there are 11 input fields. Okay, so if input locator is identifying 11 elements, and if I just want to set my value input on the first element, how can I do it? So what is the first one? The second one, as you see, this is email ID. If I go up, the first one is what is your name, so where we can set the name, and then second one is the email ID, and likewise we can keep going. And then what is the last one? Let's see, let me go quickly to the 10th one, and then I'll move it to the 11th one slowly. So I am on the 10th one. Let me go to the last one now. So here it says 10 of 11, right? Now I click on one more. Okay, yeah, actually it is pointing to something else, to the 11th one. I was looking for a better example to show you the last one. So in that case, what I do is, let me see if I can narrow it down a better way. Input, and then this has type as text. So let me see, /input, and then @type is equal to text. Cool, it shows only 3. So this will be very useful. So now for this XPath that I've written, it is returning 3 inputs. One is username, next is email ID, and then the last one is mobile number. Let us see how we can use that first, nth, and then the last. For that, let me paste this, and then I go to first test, copy this, come back, paste, cut, use, then it has to go to naukri.com/registration. Let's see, it will take to this page automatically or not. No, it is not taking to this page. So in that case, what I'll do, I'll go to naukri.com, and then I'll click on this register button. So naukri.com, after coming to naukri.com, we have to click on a button, register. How can we do? Let's inspect it. Okay, there is a text register, and then it is a link. Let me see if I can use this. A text no, or I'm missing the double slash. Correct, I'm missing the double slash. Okay, so I'll use this, and it is resolving to only one element, so I'll make a click on this register. Await page.locator, paste, no, control Z, control Z. Instead of single quotes, I'll use double quotes and then paste it, and then I'll perform a click. As you all know, I'll be using a small wait after I land on this page. Wait for 4 seconds. Then identify the element. Await page.locator. This time I'm going to use this. So as you know, this will return 3 elements, right? So just to show you, I'll use fill test. So syntactically it is correct. Let me run this. It goes to naukri.com. Okay, wait for timeout. Save it. Play it. Goes to naukri.com. Performs the click on the register button after waiting for 4 seconds. Now it clicked on register, but immediately it throws the error and it says it is resolved into 3 elements. So to identify the first element, I can use first. This I have shown in other videos too, but now it will be very clear for you. So if I say first and then fill Loganathan, it is going to take my name and put it in the which one? Let me see, what is your name, right? What is your name is the first one. So it is going to put my name in the first element which matches this locator. And then let me reduce it to 2 seconds. I'm going to use nth option. And then I'll say nth of 1. And what is the, so when I use nth, I should use the index. So I'm using 1. So it starts from 0 or maybe 2, I don't know. Let's check it out. Okay, maybe I should enter 2, but I'll when we run it, we'll get to know, and then we can fill it accordingly. And this is tell us your email ID. So I want to put my email ID, logan@test.com. And then finally the last option. So instead of nth, I'm going to use the last, and I'll remove this index. So what do I need to fill in the last? Enter your mobile number. So I'll enter a 10-digit mobile number, all with 9. How many 9s I've entered? 999999. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's execute and see. For this nth, I have a doubt whether I should use 1 or 2, but we will execute and let's run it. That's how we learn, right? We'll do mistake and we'll learn. We clicked on register. It entered Loganathan and waits for 2 seconds. Some reason nth is not working. That is why it is taking so much time. Let's see where it is going wrong and what is the error, and then we'll fix it accordingly. What is the error? Waiting for locator text nth of 1. Locator resolved to read only value. Why is it read only? Let's see why it is read only. It is not read only. So what I'll do is I'll force it. Okay, instead of simply passing it, I'll force it. There is one more way to force it. So it has to be force and then true. So whenever I use this force true, what it will do is it will try to overwrite some of the application restrictions and it will enter. So let me run it. Okay, it entered Loganathan. It waits for 2 seconds. Perfect. It entered user, so my email ID, and then it entered the mobile number also. So cool, it worked. So we now learned nth or the indexes in Playwright starts from 0. That is why when we use 1, it is putting our email ID on the email ID field. Otherwise, if the index starts from 1, then it would have entered my email ID on the first name or name text field. Okay, cool. So now you learned how to use first, how to use nth, and how to use last. So instead of using last, I can do nth again one more time. Okay, if I know the index of the last one, I can do this. So what I do, instead of last, I say nth, and then I use 2. And then here I would use a small variation. Instead of, I'll use zeros at the end. So it is on the page, entered my name, entered email ID, and then it entered all 9 on the mobile number, and then it changed to 00. So what I'm trying to prove here, I'm trying to prove that either I can use last to identify the mobile number field, or I can use the index and use nth combination and enter the value. So whatever is convenient for you, you do it. I would go for last, but if you prefer to use nth, go with it. Okay. Cool. And then at the end, I want to cover one more location strategy, so which we already talked about in the text one, right? We used where is it, hasText. Yeah, here we used filter and then we used hasText. So let us cover this filter in detail now. What are the different options we have in filter? So let me go here and add the 5th test file. I'm here and let's pick okay, let me name it as filters. What are the different filters we can do? we already covered hasText. Maybe we'll cover one more option and then I'll tell you what are the different options we have in filter text. Okay, let us go to same one and copy this where I have used filter hasText. Okay, after I click on female, instead of using hasText, what is the other option I have? Let me inspect this. It's a button, and in the button, let's see first. Await.page.locator button dot filter. The moment I open the cursor, it gives me has. I can use a locator again one more time. See, I can use a locator, and then has not. Again, it's a locator. Has not text or has text. Okay, let me first list them down. I can use has. I can use has not. I can use has text. I can use has not text. So these are the options I can use inside the filter. So you can see it. The moment I open the open bracket, it says all right, has not, and then has text, and then has not text. All are in camel casing. So has not, then has text, and then it is has not text. So maybe we'll learn how to use has and other things that you can take as a homework and you can try. So what I'm going to do, it is a locator is what it says. When I use has, it has to be a locator. Let me see what is another locator that I can use. Okay, I'll try to identify this using the button on click is there, class is there, but this has very limited locators possible, right? Okay, let me go with the text itself and then I put that as a locator. Okay, this is button, and then I'll use filter, and then I have to use has, so I'll use this has, and then colon, then locator. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'll copy this. Okay, has page dot, I'll use, instead of using, okay, let's see get by role works or not for this. So name is show selected gender, and then what is the role? It is a button. Okay, and then I'll do a click. Let's see. I'll wait. I'm going to comment these two lines. It is not required anymore. So last time I've used the text has text, but this time I'm using a locator. Instead of has text, I'm passing has and then the locator. Page dot get by role button is what I'm using. Let's see. I'll run this. Okay, is it waiting on a particular line? It is waiting. So it is taking time. Anyways, it's not going to work. I can close this browser and see what is the error. So error is waiting for locator. So it was waiting. Has been closed. It was unable to locate it. Let's inspect it then one more time. let me see, because it may be a child of something, then it can identify. Okay, under div it's a button with this. Let me have a div here, locator, and see. Okay, the div class resulted in so many. Then what I do, I'll try to my div on this, because this button is inside this div. Card tools is the class, so let me control F dot card tools. This is also resulting 3. Then what I do, I'll go with card tools. No, I don't want to take much of your time here by using all these. So let me go here, dot locator. I pass this, and then I use first, and then I'll put a filter. So let me bring this down so it will be very clear for everyone. Okay, let me run it first, and if it works, and then I'll explain it. No, this time also it is. Oh, it passed. Nice. It has done something. But why did I see it when it worked? Let me run it again. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to pick another example for this right now, and then I'll use that example for explaining this, because this page I have very limited ways to play around. So in that case, I'll go to demoqa.com. And then I'll go to a form, automation practice form. Let's go there. Okay, on this practice form, say we have this first name. So let me inspect this. And this is inside the div class which has this, right? So let's go and use this. Let me go here and I use the form and I cut this. It's no more required for us. And then what I do, I take this div I'm going to use that here, and I'll not use this first because it will result in this, and then I'll use filter as page.locator. I'll use the first name, right? The first name, let's go and see. This is input and first name is the name, and then code is text box. Copy that and use it. Okay. Okay, and then I'll fill, instead of click, I'll fill my name there. and let's see. Goes to the practice form, waits, and it fails. It is not an input. Okay, so now I understand what was the error. So this is not an input to fill. So then what I need to do, then I need to again find a locator, right? So dot locator, and then I need to use input, and then I can use dot fill. As you see, it has filled my name, Loganathan. So now what we understand is, after applying the filter, you have to point your Playwright to the right locator or the right field, and then you need to perform. So let's go back to the previous one and see if it is going to work. So which was, I'll do some control. Yeah, let's take this now and let's perform it one more time. There is nothing wrong in trying it one more time. So I go here, paste, and then let's try this page dot locator. Last time we used okay, so show selected, inspect, and this was under card tools. So let me copy this card tools, locator dot this, and then I'll put first because it was resolving into 3, and then I'll again put a dot and then put a filter, and in this filter I copy this completely, use it, then in this filter I'm going to use what name is this, select gender, and then role is button I put, and then again I'll add one more dot, and then locator, I'll say it is a button, and then I'll perform a click. Okay, let's see this time it works or not, because last time also it was performing the click, maybe it was performing the click on the incorrect locator. So it entered the name, it is waiting, next it will move to the awesome, it performed the click, that's why you see that you selected male. Okay, so just wanted to show you how this filter works, and I have covered has and hasText already, and you can try has not and has not text. Okay, nothing but it is the opposite of what we are trying here. So if I don't want the name to be like this, then I can enter here itself. I'll change and show you. Instead of say show selected gender, I put it as something else. Okay, then what should happen, it should click on the next button, because on that page you saw 2 buttons, right? So let's see, when we run this, oh yeah, I used, this is incorrect, let me close this. So instead of using has, I'll use has not. So I'm passing has not and I'm passing the incorrect name. Will it work? I don't think so, because this will also result in 2. Kind of worked. Okay, so since I passed the incorrect name and use this get by rule, so this has passed. Okay, so when you use has not here, you have to use the another negative condition so that this will work. So similarly for has not text, you can try it out on your own. Okay, thank you. With this, I've covered all the topics I want to cover in this video. I'll push the script now to the GitHub repository. Let me go to Git, enter the message, added next set of scripts, and I'll do the commit and sync. Okay, let me go back to the browser and check. Let me refresh. Yeah, different locator strategies is here, and all the programs we have created in today's video is available here. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening and watching this video. Until we meet in the next video, bye from me. Take care.